What's going on, everybody? Teddy Baldassarre from teddybaldassarre.com. In this video, we're going to be looking at a watch available for purchase on my website with the Orient Symphony 3. So at any point you want to learn some more information about this watch, I'll have a link in the description, but also if you want to talk through your next purchase of this watch or any other watch available on my website, you can also book a call with me in the link in the description as well. And even if I don't have something available, be happy to help you out in addition to that. But guys, let's take a closer look at this watch.
Now looking at a rundown of the specs here, we have a case size 41.6 millimeters, thickness 11.7 millimeters, lug width of 22 millimeters, lug to lug of 48.2 millimeters, water resistance of 50 meters, movement is an automatic Orient F6722, crystal is mineral, and price we have $180. Now Orient watches is certainly one of my favorite brands, and I think it holds a lot of sentimental value for me because it was really my gateway into the world of watches, or at least mechanical watches, as Orient Bambino was the first mechanical watch I ever owned, and I know what this brand could represent for so many other people in being that same gateway. And when just looking at it from a value point of view, I think Orient has really taken a space in this affordable tier that is pretty much unmatched by any other manufacturer, and that's Seiko included. And after handling watches that are multiples and multiples of the price of these Orients, I always just come back to these with continued just thumbs up and approval, just for the fact that I think Orient's producing a great product for the money. Now, when thinking about the most popular Orient watch, I think the Orient Bambino probably is it. I mean, their divers certainly get a lot of attention as well, but what the Orient Bambino provides in the price range and just the variety that it provides, I think is very, very tough to beat. And when looking at this watch here today, we have the Orient Symphony 3rd generation. And it really is just an alternative dress watch from the brand. And from a finishing point of view, I think it does a lot of things better than a lot of the Orient Bambinos out there. It comes in at around $180, which is quite good. But I think for this piece, it's important to speak on the dimensions. So with me personally measuring, I have this coming in at a true 41, but this is still a sizable case here considering its function as being a dress watch. With that case size and longer lug to lug of 48.2 millimeters, this is going to be a watch that would be best suited for those with larger wrists or who just like a larger fit. The case comes with a polished bezel and polish on the anterior side of the lugs and is brushed along the side of the case. At the 3 o'clock, we have a 5.5 millimeter crown. The crown is a treat to engage and will allow the user to hand wind, hack, and set the time. On this watch, we have a genuine leather alligator embossed strap. So this is a strap made of calfskin and embossed with a reptilian grain on the outside to replicate the look at a more affordable cost. The strap is actually not bad given what we usually see on watches of this price tier. However, I would definitely opt to go for something else and definitely check out what's on my website, as the lug width on this piece is actually at 22 millimeters. Yes, an even lug width on an Orient watch, thank God. I think that is a point in this piece's favor when comparing it to many of the Bambinos, so just an important point there. So for the crystal here, we do have mineral glass, which will show signs of wear over time if you do beat this around. This is a dress watch after all though, so I don't think this is as much of a concern if this was a diver, for example. Looking at the dial within, starting at the dial outskirts of the Symphony, it features a thinly grooved minute track that is separated from the sunburst central dial. This outer minute track's very finely finished surface is hard to pick up with the naked eye until you really inspect it close, but it's a level of texture not often seen in watches under $200. Transitioning inwards, the dial is actually very exceptional all around and shines with highly reflected applied markers that sit on the sunburst surface. The brand logo is at the 12, the date at the 3, and the common inclusion of water resistance at the 6 written in cursive, which I've always found a little bit peculiar just given the fact that on the Orient Bambinos they have 30 meters of water resistance, but this one does have 50 meters, so I guess that makes a little bit more sense. But I think having some text here is better than none, as it does feel a little bit out of balance if it didn't have anything otherwise, but maybe just writing something that made a little more sense, like automatic for example. Looking at the rest of the dial elements, we have a very nice set of alpha style hands at the center coming in high polish that work really well with the overall design. And if there's one thing that Orient absolutely nailed with this piece is, I think, the looks. They really married the high polished looks of the indices, the alpha hands, to make this watch feel modern as well as classical in terms of its approach, and I think doesn't make it look cheap either. Now flipping the watch over, we have an open case back featuring the automatic Orient F6722. Now one of the leading reasons I think Orient deserves a lot of respect, and I think they get it from enthusiasts, is their continued development of in-house calibers being made in Japan. The movements are some of the best in their tier, and to be producing their own in-house ones for this price is quite impressive. And although they're not necessarily a beauty to look at, for the price they occupy, they are very well done and being quite reliable in the process. The movement operates at 3 Hz, 21,600 vibrations per hour, has a power reserve of 40 hours, features hand winding and hacking so you can stop that second hand when pulling out to the farthest position, and has accuracy of -15 seconds a day to +25 seconds per day. Now we look at the Orient Symphony. It's probably not a watch that you're as familiar with as, say, the Bambinos, for example. And I think it's a little bit unfortunate that there's just a few things I think holding this watch back from probably being one of the best sellers from the brand. I think the case size is going to size a lot of people out, especially given its use case of being a dress watch. But other than the size, I think everything else that is being delivered with this piece is great. I think this is one of the more attractive looking watches that Orient makes. You're getting the nice reliable movement that comes within, and you're also getting an even millimeter lug width. With this watch coming in at like a 38mm case, for example, maybe 20mm lug width, I think that is a big winner if Orient wanted to go this way. But I think this watch is still very attractive, and for those that do want maybe a little bit larger presence with their watch, and maybe want something that definitely is a way better product than the many fashion watch brands out there, this is certainly one to look at.
Well, all right, guys, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon. In addition to that, we'll have a link to the product in the description, but also please book a call with me if you have questions about this piece or any other watch available for purchase on my website. Would love to help you out with your next watch. So guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I'll see you all very soon.